Welcome to Undisputed Fight Talk. If this is your first time on the channel, you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stick some thoughts in the comments below. I'm always happy to get back to anybody commenting on the videos. If you're listening on a podcast format, consider giving us a review. Let's get on to the video, and I think it's going to be another controversial one. In this video, or audio if you're on podcast, I'm going to explain to you why I believe Canelo versus Bivol 2 should be at the super middleweight limit. It should be at 168 pound, Canelo's division. If you're not aware, Canelo is looking to activate his rematch clause with Bivol, but there's a sticking point. Canelo wants to rematch Bivol at 175 pounds, which is the weight limit of the first encounter, but Bivol, who naturally fights at 175 pounds, wants to go down to Canelo's division, super middleweight, and have the second fight there. And I agree with him. Here's why. First off, we've seen the fight at 175 pounds. We've seen the fight at light heavyweight. It wasn't close. It wasn't competitive. It was a comprehensive victory for Bivol. It wasn't in the least bit close. You can't look at any aspect of that fight and say, I see where Canelo went wrong. I think he can change this in the rematch and get a different result. I'm not against rematches. I'm completely not against rematches. I don't like enforced rematches. I'm not a big fan of rematch clauses at all. You look at fights like Haney-Kambosos. It's an absolute pointless rematch, and there's a whole shower of enforced rematches which really aren't worth the time. For me, if the first fight is a comprehensive beatdown, there's no need to have a rematch. If the first fight, however, is an absolute barnstormer, if there's controversy, if fighter A is winning, but then he catches an unlucky shot and gets knocked out, I can see why people appreciate rematches, and some of the best fights in boxing have been rematches. Think of the Marquez Pacquiao, 4 fights, 4 fantastic fights. There's a whole plethora. Look at Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. There was fantastic fights as well. There's loads and loads. Gatti, Ward, millions of fights out there where they have been good enough to warrant a rematch, so they've got a rematch. I don't believe that this is that type of fight. We've seen this fight already at light heavyweight. There's nothing Canelo can do differently for me. That wasn't Canelo having a bad night. That was just Bivol. He's so much better, especially at 175 pounds. Secondly, Bivol won the first fight, as I've just mentioned. He won it comprehensively. He took Canelo apart. I fancied Bivol to win the fight, but I didn't think he'd get the nod. Canelo being the face of boxing, being on a Matchroom show, I thought there's no way they're going to hand it to Bivol, but so convincing was the beating that they couldn't rob him. So if Bivol won that first fight and so convincingly, surely he should get some say on how the second fight goes. Another reason why it should be at 168 is, in the first fight, Bivol put his championship belt on the line. He put his light heavyweight title on the line. It's risk-free for Canelo fighting at 175 pounds. He doesn't put his titles on the line. There's only Bivol who can lose titles. If Canelo loses his second fight at 175, no one cares. It's expected that he loses this fight now. If you did a poll of boxing fans and asked them who wins at 175, Canelo or Bivol in the rematch, 99% of them are going to pick Bivol. If he wins though, if Canelo wins, he gets Bivol's crown. I don't think that's fair. He's had his opportunity to dethrone Bivol. He lost systematically. He shouldn't get an automatic second shot at Bivol's crown. All the time, he's not putting anything on the line. But if Bivol wins the second fight at light heavyweight, he's no better off. Nobody cares because, like I've mentioned, the vast majority of boxing fans expect him to win. So he's just done what's expected. He hasn't come away with any more titles. He's come away with a good paycheck, don't get me wrong, and that's probably a temptation for him to succumb to Canelo's demands. But he's no better off from a legacy point of view, I don't believe. At £168 at the super middleweight limit, this is a new fight. It's a fight that fans haven't seen before. Canelo is undoubtedly better at super middleweight. He's undefeated there. He's explosive there. His power carries well. 175 pounds, yes, he beat Sergey Kovalev. But Kovalev, he was right at the end of his career. He's not a patch on Bivol. So I don't believe Canelo's fit for the 175 division. We're going into a fight at super middleweight. There's unanswered questions. There's intrigue there. Can Bivol make the weight and be effective? He claims he can. He's said it numerous times that 168 isn't an issue. But we've never seen it. So for me, that makes a fight already more interesting, already more level, already more competitive. Canelo, like I say, he's undefeated at 168 pounds. He's been explosive. It's an undisputed fight if it goes on down there. Well, it could be. We'll come on to why it might not be in a minute. But it's got the potential to be a 4-belt fight, which is massive for any era, for any fight. If there's 4 belts on the line, there are always huge fights. It's massive. With all that said, I don't believe it will happen at super middleweight. I want it to, more than anything I want it to, but I don't believe it will happen at 168 pounds. Here's why. Firstly, Canelo is the draw. No two ways about it. It's one of, if not the biggest draw in boxing. And while you're the bigger draw, while you're generating more money, there's a damn good chance that you're going to get your way. Secondly, Bivol doesn't have too many other options. He can't face Beterbiev at light heavyweight for the undisputed crown at 175 pounds. That's been completely ruled out by Maurizio Sulaiman, who's not letting Russian fighters compete for WBC titles. And with that being said, I mentioned before that 168 pound fight, a super middleweight fight, might not be for undisputed either. And that's for the same reason. Will Maurizio Sulaiman let Bivol compete for undisputed at 168 pounds, or will he say to Canelo, you cannot put the WBC belt on the line? It's another reason why I don't think it happens at 175. That's another reason why I don't think it will happen at 168 pounds. Ultimately, this fight does nothing for Bivol. He was the underdog first time. A lot of fight fans didn't think he could do it. He wasn't the biggest name. He wasn't the best known fighter. People who knew boxing knew Bivol was a threat, but the casual fan base obviously massively hype Canelo, so Bivol wasn't given a chance. He overcame the odds. He beat Canelo. The second fight, he's not going to be the underdog. He's expected to win. I fully think he will win because I do, like I say, believe this fight will happen at 175 pounds. But for me, I think they're missing a massive opportunity here. I think Bivol deserves that 168 undisputed shot, and I think Canelo is possibly aware that Bivol is probably the biggest threat to him at 168 pounds if he lets that go on. He doesn't want to lose his 4 belts. He's happy to go at 175. If he loses, he loses. So what? He comes back down. He's still a 4-belt champion. If he wins, his legacy is enhanced massively. Bivol, on the other hand, has nothing really much other than financial gain, which is fantastic, but from legacy, he's nothing much to gain from this fight. What do you think? Do you think Canelo's right? The first fight was at 175, so the second fight should be. Or do you think Bivol deserves his chance at that super middleweight strap? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.